Welcome back. Let's pop you straight to Melrose Arch, where the M20 Summit is underway. It's a two-day gathering exploring issues affecting journalism and the media. Speaking now is Communications and Digital Technologies Minister Malatsi. Let's listen.
During the Soweto uprising that was shot by the late Sam Nkosi became a global symbol of the brutality of the apartheid regime. It was with that image that the world could no longer ignore the horrors of apartheid. International opinion hardened almost overnight against the regime, galvanizing sanctions and emboldening our own freedom movement. That moment from our past stands as a powerful testimony that truthful information can help topple injustices and uphold human dignity. So today, as we gather here at M20, the lessons continue. That information integrity, as Boo said, matters for all of us. It is the invisible infrastructure of our democracy, the livelihood of successful economies, and the glue that strengthens social cohesion. And we dare not ignore this. Democracy rests on the power of the truth to prevail at all times. Citizens can only make sound decisions and hold leaders accountable when they are informed by facts and not falsehoods. Free and fair elections in particular depend on an electorate that is empowered to independently form opinions free from the abuse of propaganda. And when disinformation pollutes the public discourse, it undermines voters' ability to choose based on accurate information, posing a direct threat to the legitimacy of the democratic processes. And we have already witnessed across the world, and partly even in our country, that this risk continues. During the 2024 elections here in South Africa, we witnessed the rise of generative AI manipulation to produce deepfake videos. These incidents remind us that the speed and reach of digital falsehoods can fracture the social cohesion and political stability. And yet there is cause for confidence, because it is robust institutions and a truly independent media that can shield our democracy from the virus of disinformation. A recent study of South Africa's 2024 elections found that despite fears, AI-driven fake content only had a limited impact, with most information still coming from traditional sources. But we cannot be complacent. And as was highlighted by the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, that threats to information integrity are proliferating and expanding with unprecedented speed, more so on digital platforms supercharged by AI technologies. This places science, facts, public health, and human rights under attack. And if lies spread faster than the truth, if hate speech and rumor outrun verified news, the results can be catastrophic for democracies and even for social cohesion and for many of our nations' development. The truth is, even the economy relies on the accuracy of facts. Markets function on trust and transparency. Fraudulent information can disrupt financial systems and erode investor confidence. Free, independent journalism is essential for the economy to function transparently, supporting anti-corruption efforts, fair markets, and informed policy-making decisions. No major challenge, from public health care to climate change, can be solved without fact-based information media at its core. And we know that truth in information is a public good that underpins all of our other public goods in society. If information integrity is the foundation of democracy and development, then an independent media is its foremost guardian. A free press broadcasting a range of voices and perspectives is not just a luxury, but it's a necessity for thriving democracies. We must emphasize that even at this forum, that media freedom and diversity are essential safeguards of truth, and that we need to shield this with everything we have. From the brave reporters who exposed apartheid's atrocities decades ago to today's investigative journalists who are rooting out corruption, we know that when the media truly operates freely and professionally, accountability, and progress flows. Yet around the world, the very same media institutions we rely on to uphold the truth are under severe strain. In too many countries, journalists face censorship, harassment, and even violence. But even where overt repression is absent, news media are struggling to survive, and it is one of the biggest challenges that poses an existential crisis to the future of the sustainability of the media. According to the 2025 World Press Freedom Index, media outlets in 160 out of 180 countries report achieving financial sustainability with difficulty or not at all. The economic model that sustained independent news is collapsing in many places, and this poses a massive problem. Because when media outlets cannot sustain themselves, society loses its watchdogs. And for those of us who have been given the responsibility as policymakers, we have a responsibility to work together with all the players in the sector to find solutions to the point that Spoo underscored regarding finding sustainable business models that will shape the future of our media landscape. So we must work together as governments and the private sector to support these sustainable models for independent media. This could include innovative funding mechanisms, fair competition policies, and ensuring that dominant tech platforms do not unfairly siphon away advertising revenues that journalism depends on. Even as we defend the traditional pillars of journalism, we face new challenges to information integrity. The digital revolution that profoundly democratized information creation and distribution with benefits risks on a global scale. On the one hand, more voices are being heard than before. On the other, false content and harmful narratives can spread like wildfire across borders and platforms. The business models of social media and search platforms have often rewarded virality rather than the veracity of news. In practice, this means that sensationalism and misinformation can get boosted while credible journalism struggles to reach the audiences it should be reaching. We must urge greater platform accountability, more transparency about how information is curated, and stronger action against demonstrably false and hateful content. We need to elevate factual information rather than suppress it. Another challenge is the rise of AI-generated content. We are entering an era when a single individual with a device at their fingertips can manufacture realistic fake videos, images, and even audio at the click of a button. Deepfakes can be deployed by malicious actors to mislead citizens and manipulate narratives at an unprecedented scale and reach. The challenge for all of us is to harness the benefits of AI while staunchly guarding against its misuse in the public discourse. We need responsible AI governance and ethical guidelines that ensure that these technologies are not weaponized to undermine the truth. Information integrity is a global issue, and it requires global cooperation. And it is why even under South Africa's presidency of G20, particularly through the Digital Economy Working Group, we have made it a key part of our agenda. And I take the challenge, Chair, that we will take the declaration into the forums of the G20 because it is essential that we elevate that discussion in those major platforms. And we are very intent on working even with international players, including the UN, to reinforce initiatives like the UN Code of Conduct for Information Integrity on digital platforms and UNESCO's programs on media freedom and digital literacy. Above all, we will listen and involve the independent media voices. We are taking a multi-stakeholder approach where every player will make a meaningful contribution towards safeguarding the future of this industry, which is so essential to the success not only of democracies but of thriving societies. In doing so, we will tread carefully to protect freedom of expression, Information integrity cannot be an excuse for censorship. It must be about empowerment and empowering citizens to receive accurate information and diverse views, empowering journalists to do their work safely, and empowering technologies to elevate truth over falsehoods. Colleagues, today we also affirm that independent media is the beating heart of our societies, and it is important that we treat information, invest in it, protect in it, and make sure that it ultimately benefits every player in society. So as we embark into the discussions over the next 2 days, I wish you all of the best and hope that the declaration will truly play an instrumental role in safeguarding the future of this industry. We do need an independent, free media for the world to prosper. Thank you very much.
Minister Malatsi, thank you for reminding us that trust in information and trust in truth, it's the oxygen of our democracy. And thank you also for reminding us that...
All right, so there you have it. These are live visuals from Melrose Arch. That's where the M20 Summit is just, in fact, well underway. Solly Malatsi is the communications minister who's spoken about some of the main challenges facing the media today. And they're not really unique, right? It's to do with AI and just, I suppose, the suffocation of newsrooms in the wake of the scarcity of resources. We're going to be watching the story for you throughout the next 2 days. In fact, for 2 days. That's when this gathering will be sitting to break down what perhaps some of these solutions are.